Hey guys, it's Tony with Backwoods Biker Magazine and Wood Tramp Outdoors. You know, for years you have heard me say, and for years I have been taught, that the number one survival skill is making fire. And I still wholeheartedly believe that, but I want to put an asterisk next to that. Hang tight to learn what that is. All right, guys, welcome back. As I said, you know, for years, I have been taught and I have taught that the number one survival skill set, a skill set, meaning more than one way to do something. There should be several ways to be able to make a fire. You know, you should own a Bic lighter. What I mean by that is not physically own it, but you should own the skill of knowing what to do with a Bic lighter other than just to flick it. I don't have one down here. Other than just to flick it. You know, what do you do when the fuel is out? You know, do you throw it away? The answer is no, because there's a lot of things you can do with that. You know, making a bowl drill fire, making a drill fire, solar fire. You add all those things up together, you know, and, you know, with a ferro rod. Let's put the ferro rod in there. Now you have owned all those, and that becomes a skill set. Okay, so that has always been my number one. Anywhere in the world, under any conditions, under any stressful condition, weather condition, whatever it is, you should be able to make fire because it's that important to you. So what is the asterisk? It's this right here. It is how to control a severe blood loss. So many people go out into the bush, out into the woods, even if it's just for a day hike, and they are not prepared to take care of a major arterial bleed. And because of that, a lot of people die out in the wilderness. They die out in, you know, a quarter mile from their home because they're out there with an axe and hit an artery, and before they could get back, they just bled out. And that is a preventable type of an accident, preventable type of tragedy. So what would be that asterisk other than, you know, having a bleed bag? It is encouraging everyone to learn how to perform not so much a battlefield medic's mentality or even a wilderness mentality when it comes to first aid, but I am talking about woodsman's first aid. That's what I'm talking about. And because that covers so many different things, because, you know, the amount of people that are watching our videos and reading our magazine that are actually active military, there's a good portion, but the percentage of it, you know, compared to everybody else is kind of small, maybe in the middle. Even a smaller group are those people that love the outdoors, but they're never really going to go out into a wilderness situation where they're 30, 40, 50 miles away from the middle of nowhere. But the majority of people that watch us and read the magazine are folks that just like to go out in the woods. They like to go camping. They like to go hunting, fishing, foraging for mushrooms, for berries, for nuts, and then they might go out for 2 or 3 days. And those are the type of people that I call wood tramps, and that is the type of first aid that I would encourage you to learn. And there's a lot of great online classes. It's not a commercial for Josh Inyart, but Josh Inyart does have some great first aid classes on his website, Gray Bearded Green Beret. He doesn't even know that I'm mentioning that to him, but there are many, many others. And even your local Red Cross could help you out. But learn some basic skills. Now, I keep holding this bleed bag up because, as I have said to you in the past, owning a bleed bag is just super common sense when you're going out in the bush. Even if I go out, anybody will tell you that they see me with a bleed bag everywhere I go. Even in a haversack, I've got a bleed bag. If I happen to walk away from the base camp, I may leave the bleed bag, but I do take a tourniquet with me just in case, because that might save my life. But I did want to talk to you about this and just kind of explain to those of you that aren't familiar with what is in an actual bleed bag. Now, this is a bleed bag that I've had for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years when we first did an article with North American Rescue. And you know, this has been my #1 bleed bag since the day I got it. All right. Now, it did not come with an Israeli bandage. It didn't come with C-locks. But what it did come with was a Cat 9 or Cat 7 tourniquet. This is a combat application tourniquet. And you see it doesn't have any wrapper on it because you want to be able to have that readily available for deployment in case. Because if you get a major arterial bleed, you've got less than 3 minutes to lock that down. And you know, really, if you are applying this, you may even have less than that, because as you lose blood, you lose dexterity, your cognitive thinking begins to get cloudy, you know, so you got to really hurry up to get that done. But the fact that you have it gives you a really good chance of survival if you know how to use it, and that's why you got to have classes to be able to use this stuff. But this is one of the finest ones I've ever came across, and that's why I keep carrying it, and why I have reached out to North American Rescue, and we have developed special pricing for the bleed bags. Now again, I'm going to show you the one that we have just put together with North American Rescue. It's different than this. There's probably 4 components in this one that I personally put in there. I put some quick clot, some C-locks, you know, granules, you know, that help stop the blood from flowing. You know, they're coagulants. But I'm going to put this to the side because I want to show you this one. This is the one that we just collaborated for with North American Rescue, and everything that's in here. Now, when I'm talking about a Woodland med bag or IFAK bag, this is kind of what I would point you towards. And I'm going to give you the model number, product number, if you want to call. I think the regular price on this style of bag is about $124. And if you will use that code that I'm going to put on this video, you can call North American Rescue, give them that code, and they will give you a discount price of $89.99, which is phenomenal, because everything that's in this bag is top notch. You would find much of this in a combat IFAK. You know, this is emergency trauma dressing. Again, here is the this is a Cat 9 tourniquet here, combat application tourniquet. It's brand new, so it hasn't came out of the plastic yet. Also here is some quick clot bleed control dressing, Z-fold that you can pack down into wounds, and it has an anticoagulant in it, or a coagulant in it. This also has hyphen vents, and the reason, you know, hyphen vents are usually found in IFAK kits on the battlefield. Why would I want this in one of our kits that we are endorsing? I have seen people out in the bush before fall out of a deer stand, or have been riding out in the bush and get impaled. It goes all the way through front to the, you know, through the back. And what a hyphen vent does, it allows for the escape of air, you know, for a damaged lung, but it doesn't allow the air to come back through that hole, which could cause you very bad distress. So that's why we ask for the hyphen vents to be placed inside of here, because you can put one on this side of the hole, that one on the other side, and the person is going to be good to go, hopefully. Also in here is a really super duty survival wrap type of a blanket. There is combat shears, there's 2 pair of rubber gloves, and of course there's going to be a magic marker, permanent magic marker, so you can put the time that you have applied the tourniquet on there. That's something that you'll learn inside of a class. Now again, this is a bleed bag. That is what it is all about. Let me see here, I had one more thing in here that I missed, and this is wound packing gauze. Okay, very, very good thing. You know, so you got all kinds of things here to help you from bleeding out, and to be able to even address a deep puncture or through puncture. keep the person from going into great distress when they had the type of wound that I spoke to you about. So that's it right there. And the components together with this particular deal through North American Rescue, again, are $89.99 separate. They're going to be around $124. Backwoods Biker makes no money off this. The only thing we did, after a lot of you asked us to help you out with this, we reached out to them and said, look, our readers, our viewers are asking, about having access to a bleed bag that's reasonably priced. And North American Rescue answered that call and said, here it is. So right down there is going to be the model number and the phone number. You call them and give them that, and they will give you the discount that I spoke to. Now, I got one more bag that I want to show you. This is what I would carry for bleed bag. People have asked me before, do I take stuff out other than the bleed bag? Do I have another med kit? If I'm going to be setting up a base camp, and I know that there are going to be other people in that base camp with me, especially if there's going to be kids that are learning how to survive out in the bush, or learning how to hunt, to fish, or whatever, I take a bag like this, and in this bag you're going to find a lot of the components that are here also, but then there are things that I would never ever carry. Again, here's some sea locks here, here's some combat gauze here, and of course I'm going to have that emergency blanket there. I do have the tourniquet, and I have the Israeli bandage. And by the way, again, Josh Enyart, who I would recommend getting on and being a part of his video classes. They are super awesome, and he will teach you how to use all those. Something else that I have in this bag is a splint, and this splint happened to come from Battle Box. This was the Hero Healer Medical Response Splint 36-inch flat pack field ready. These are great. You can cut them to fit different limbs, shape them, and they will hold you in place. So I've got that just in case there's a break in camp. Somebody's got to have a splint. Let me see what else I have in here. Okay, nothing there. Now we're going to get to the place where I say this is the Boo Boo Owie pouch here. Got a couple safety pins, but I have gauze tape. I have some more Ace bandage wrap, and then I've got this type of stuff that I very rarely carry on my own. This is a iodine swab stick. I got a couple of those in there. I've got some Cerolite 70. This is oral electrolyte. I've got plenty of triple antibiotic ointment. I've got bunches of these bandages. These are coverlet, kind of like a big butterfly style bandage. I got several of those, and then of course I'm going to have some sterile gauze, more of the triple antibiotic. I have got alcohol, and I dig these here. Alcohol swab sticks is what they are. Big old Q-tip on the end, kind of flat, on a stick, that are alcohol that can help you sterilize stuff. A wounded area, of course, some more iodine. I've got some sunscreen and some utility towels. And then the last couple things, this is Bug 30 insect repellent towelette. They were handing these out at the 186th Air Wing in their survival kits, and a buddy gave me a couple of these. They're okay. I've got other stuff that works better. And then of course some more alcohol pads and that. So that's why I tell you this is kind of like what I carry if I got a base camp situation and I'm going to have other people out in the field with me. I'm usually carrying just the bleed bag stuff, because if I happen to have a small cut in my hand that doesn't require that, I can fix it with duct tape. And there are others small. I think that in one of our battle boxes that we reviewed, they had a suture that was on an adhesive strip that pulled everything together. I really like those. I think they were called speed strips or something. I don't remember, but just stuff like that, But it's important to me that you know how serious injuries can be out in the bush, even if you're close to home. If you're going out there by yourself, take a bleed bag with you. It'll save your life. If you've got somebody else, it might save their life. Know how to use it. Just don't carry the gear. It's just like everything else I tell you. If you buy a knife, use that thing 100 times before you ever take it out in the bush. You get yourself a new shelter, put it up 100 times before you ever take it out in the bush. Own it. You can do it in the dark. You can do it in the blindfold, in a blinding storm, lightning, thunder. You know, all those types of conditions. You need to be able to use the gear that you have. This right here would be a prime example of knowing the gear before you have to actually deploy it. So listen, I hope that this has helped you out. Thank you for the questions. A lot of questions on these bleed bags over the years. Just now getting around it because we just now got this great price for you here. And again, it's with North American Rescue. Check it out right there. So until next time, you guys ride free, you live free, and as always, you be safe out there. Become a subscriber, and we will include you in our monthly database for some cool giveaway stuff. Take care.